Hey Nneka, good morning. This is Rob Cesternino, and sad to see you go out of the game, but looking forward to chatting about your adventure. Want to know about that tribal council because I thought it was very interesting that they came in. Everybody said they were very confident. You said 9.5 confident. You said it was a blind side. So, are you upset with Cody and Jesse after what had happened to make you feel so confident?
Hey Rob, by the way, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you, Nneka.
Yes, it was a blind side because that was not the plan we agreed on. But hey, that's Survivor. Like, people never don't always do what they say they will do. Do I understand why the vote went the way it went? Absolutely, I get it. But that was not what we had planned on doing at the time we left camp.
Nneka, it seemed like you got so much of the blame for, we lost the puzzles because of Nneka. Was that fair to assign so much of the blame for the puzzles not getting solved on you?
Watching it and looking back, no, it was not. The first two puzzles, the Marine challenge, the reward challenge we had, nobody wanted to go near the puzzles then. And they were like, okay, please go do the puzzles. We believe in you. Fine, we did that. We won. The second one, you know, it was nobody wanted to do the puzzles again. Now, the third challenge, that was one challenge I would say I picked the puzzle because I did not want to jump off a 10-foot
Hmm.
platform.
I
I
get it.
also knew there were stronger swimmers on the tribe. It was the right thing to do. But was I a steady person on the puzzles? Yes. Did we have um, did we maintain a winning streak? No. But was it fair to take blame, like where it looked like I took 100% of the blame for the puzzles? No, I don't think so. Especially, I mean, that last puzzle, Cody and Jesse talking. Oh, that was bad. Jesse and I did the puzzle together.
Hmm.
But I think part of it also was me, like I was very emotional and feel like I let my tribe down. And that part did not change. But coming in and saying, guys, I feel like I let you all down, I transferred all the blame to myself in that moment.
Nneka, did it ever come up that Dwight was going to be a person that you could potentially vote out instead of Noel?
No, it did not come out because a lot of the talk was on keeping the tribe strong. And yes, Dwight was, from a physical strength standpoint, Dwight had it.
Hmm. Okay. So we saw Noelle go and she went on her journey. She came back with the vote steal. She came back. She said, I swear to God, hey, I don't have anything. Did anybody suspect that maybe she did have something?
I mean, when she said that, will I say I 100% believed her? No. At that point, I did not think it mattered.
Yeah.
Um, but also, did we all kind of sit back and talk about it? Like after she got back to say, hey, is it possible that she's lying? We really did not. Were conversations happening? Yes, they were, which were ringing, sending off a warning bell in my head. But then also, it made sense that she would go on a challenge like that and want to risk something. We had heard the story from Dwight when he went on his, she'd go on a journey like that and want to risk
Hmm.
something because we had heard from Dwight that, we knew you could either play it safe or risk. It would make sense for her to want to risk, looking at considering how the last vote went, the first tribal council went.
You seem like you had such an interesting relationship with Cody. What was it about Cody that you saw that made you feel like, okay, this is going to be your closest ally?
Um, on the one end of it was Noel and Justine were ruled off because they clicked right away. And,
Right.
I knew like there was a door shut there and there was no point trying to break the door down. Cody, kind of kept it open. And I'm like, hey, why not? And then Cody's fun. He was the life of the tribe. He was really living it out
Living.
out
That's what he
there.
does.
Yes, and for real, that was it. Cody was a party, like he just wakes up a party. So we very easily clicked, worked hard a lot at camp together. He was a hard worker. And, I know that I brought my game as far as camp life goes. So we worked hard at camp and we kind of clicked a lot there. So, that connection from beginning. And then also from, if we kind of looked at it from an age standpoint, he was closest to my age too. Like I understood why Justine and Noelle clicked up. They had a lot in common. They were both in their 20s. So Cody was also like closest to me age-wise, coming into camp.
Yeah. Nneka, do you have any stories that we didn't get to see about what it was like to live with Cody at Vesi?
Like what was not shown?
Yeah, like anything fun that happened?
Huh. I don't know. I mean, Vesi camp living at Vesi was the best. You know, we as a tribe, we had all these moments because we would always like get together and watch the sunsets together. I mean, those were always special tribe times. In the mornings, I always wanted to go away, kind of go have a quiet time and pray and get my mind in order. And Cody was always kind of like swimming off on the side. So a lot of our conversations happen in the mornings because I'll be like finishing up my stuff and he'll be finishing up and we'll hang out. Um, so that quiet, contemplative side of him, I feel like that wasn't shown, even though the rest of the time he's a party, but he starts out his day kind of pretty contemplative. And yes, it looks like fun, but I know that there's also a lot of depth to him.
So last week we saw Cody get the beware advantage and he had to get the bead from everybody. And we saw you and Jesse helping him out with that. And so what it looked like was that he didn't get it. But then we saw you cut away to at the last second, you got the bead from Noelle. How long did it take you to work on Noelle to get the bead from her to get his advantage?
So first of all, like I remember when Jesse told me that surprise on my face was so real because I was like, oh crap, survival is happening, you know. So when we got, me, Jesse, Justine offering to give our beats to Cody, that was pretty easy. Noelle, Dwight and Noelle, it wasn't so long because we didn't have a lot of time. You know, I knew time was a crunch, but I also knew that there was no way we could take no for an answer. So yes, Dwight, at first was hesitant. And I'm like, come on, and Dwight gave it over. And then with Noelle not wanting to, like, we were not leaving without those beats, So at that point, I did not want to back down. And she was like, yeah, I like my bracelets. I'm like, you have that and we could make all of these bracelets. Let's just get this hat going, and at least let Cody have a complete hat when we're going to the first. Let's look like we're actually having fun back here when we're going to the first tribal council. So yes, that worked. It was not that long because we didn't really have enough time.
Okay. So then I think a lot of people were wondering what happened to the hat after we saw Cody wear it to the tribal council, but then he wasn't wearing it at tribal council this past episode. Did he keep all of the beads on the hat or did he then take the beads off of the hat and just use it as a bracelet?
Yeah, and of course he took the main beads off. Like by the time we got to tribal, I knew the beads on the hat were looking leaner than they were while we were at camp. But I mean, the hat was always there at the tribe. It had its specific spot, but it did not feature in the next tribal council.
Okay. From our perspective, it looks like that Jesse is the person who seems like that he has the best relationship with everybody. From when you were out there, did it seem like that Jesse was kind of in the middle of everything?
Yes, it seemed like it did not seem like that to everybody, but I picked it up real quick, even at our first tribal council when they were like, oh, Nneka and Cody are close and it looks like Jesse's floating around with Dwight and, Jesse and Dwight did their thing. At that point, I knew that Jesse and Cody were closer than Cody and I were. I felt that Jesse had more influence on Cody than I did. But hey, if that's what the rest of the tribe wants to think, I'm cool with it too, because it gives you an edge in some way and puts you, at risk in some other ways. But Jesse had, connected really well with everybody. I knew Jesse and I also really connected while on the tribe there. So no, he did a really great job being an all-rounder.
Yeah. We saw Noelle do really well swimming in the challenge and, everybody was really impressed with her in the challenge. But was Noelle doing anything else besides performing in the challenge that you felt like, in hindsight, made the tribe want to keep her?
From really connecting with the rest of the tribe and building those deep relationships, I thought it could have been better. That was kind of lacking. It seemed like she and Justine were always kind of off doing their own thing
Yeah.
at first. But I mean, you cannot also ignore the facts, that strength is needed in challenges. For me, it was not just that she was, she did competed in challenges. It was like, that was just such a badass move, like it looked really, really good. And it was like, I was just blown away by it. So, you kind of weigh all of those things.
Now, we saw where Cody and Jesse were very concerned. Okay, hey, Justine is a salesperson. Was that something that was really important to you about that we need to worry about this?
Um, I did not worry about it, as her being a salesperson. Like, I wouldn't say I did not. Justine being a salesperson was not a threat to me in any way, but them using that as a front was okay. Like, hey, if that's the direction my alliance was to go, keeps me safe, I was okay with it
Yeah.
at the time.
Okay. We heard you in the preseason talking about how, okay, one of the things you really didn't want to do was you really didn't want to lie in the game. And we were thinking that, okay, well, that's going to be really hard to do in the game of Survivor. Were you able to avoid lying? And what did you think about that in terms of a strategy?
Yes, I was able to avoid lying. It messes up your strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot, it ties your hands in ways that I would say I did not think through. Yes, lying is, our first few minutes when we're introducing ourselves, um, thinking, when you find out like everyone on your tribe is in their 20s or early 30s and thinking, hey, I could pull off 33 right now. Like, I'm sure I could, that's like an easy enough glaring lie, but, I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But when you now start looking at the way the game is going and say, hey, these are who the threats are in this game, but you have given your word. At that point, I had to stop and think, okay, if I give my word and go do something else, betraying somebody is betrayal, lying. It was like these conversations that I now had to have that I did not really have in as much depth.
Yeah.
Like, at what point, how did I give my word? At what point does the lie occur? It was all of these things I had to get very granular, and it was frustrating.
Is there a lie other than maybe your age that you wish that you would have told while you were out there?
um Oh, there were multiple. There were
Mm-hmm.
multiple opportunities. There were multiple, but all in all, I do not have any. I'm glad that that was it was a goal I set for myself, and it was a personal, and it was also a spiritual journey for me, in many ways too. But knowing that I was able to stick to a commitment that I had made to myself going in, I'm thankful for that.
You said it was a spiritual journey. What was something that you got out of this experience?
One is, yes, when you, of course, in a game that is designed to, where you lie, cheat, and betray, and you go in and say, I will not do these things. Like, when push comes to shove, um, what will I do? At the point, asking myself, okay, how much is a lie worth, in this space? And, sticking to that. And knowing, like, also, yes, a good part of, I could not separate who I am, as a believer, with who I think I should be on the
Yeah.
game. So, but I came in with this commitment, like, hey, this is who I'm going to be here because this is who I am. And I want to show that that was the truest version. Is there another side of me that is like uber competitive, cutthroat, does not care, and just wants to win? Absolutely, that side exists. But it was interesting to see that, hey, was I able, even in the harshest of times where I felt like I'm vulnerable, how will I be perceived in this case? What could I do, but still stick to the initial goal that I made? That part I'm grateful, and I'm very thankful for that. And
Yeah.
change it.
Well, Nneka, I think you have a really cool story. I appreciate you coming on and talking with me about everything that you experienced on Survivor. Anything else you want to let the listeners know?
Um, not, I would just say, hey, the cost that I said was a big driving force for me. I kind of just shared the story again on social media. There's a link there. If anybody wants to support, I would really appreciate it. Just makes a difference in the lives of these people. I did not win $1 million. It would have been cool to write them a check for 50% of it. But since we didn't win, if anybody's willing to help out, please do. Thank you. And thank you so much for this opportunity, Rob.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Nneka. All the best outside Survivor. Okay.
All righty. Take care.
Okay.